Hey Oprah, this is Spring Omer's English 101 class, and we read your book from your book club, Breath, Eyes, and Memory, and after reading that book we were very inspired to write our own collective story, and we hope that you like it.
Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines family as a group of individuals living under one roof and usually under one head. But family to us means people who you bond with and who affect your life. Coming to English 101, we were all strangers. Writing papers, we have learned that we have a lot more in common than what we once thought. It takes strangers, random stories, to remind us that we care for people. Blood doesn't have to attach us as long as we care for others. We as a family got together to write these essays about places, people, and situations that have impacted our lives. Maybe our stories will impact your life.
As young adults, we are on a journey through life. In our journey, we take the time to stop and think about the daily struggles we have overcome. Our stories show mass chaos, sex, street violence, corruption, pain, memories, loss of culture, and other details from within our destructive generation. When our semester started, we were given an assignment by Spring Omer in our English 101. We never expected Spring Omer's assignment to affect us so strongly. At first, it's your normal bullshit assignment. But no, this assignment was different. This assignment was personal. Because it was personal, it was real.
I came here when I was 7 years old. When I'm done with college, I would like to go to Haiti and build a school there. Right now, schools in Haiti are too expensive for the poor children to attend. I want to build a school where the kids get free uniform, lunch, books, and knowledge. Knowledge is the key for Haiti's children. I want to make a school where adults and kids can attend without worrying about paying back.
Knowing what you want to do and what is best for you aren't always the same thing. There's always a possibility that doing what you want will have some type of unforeseen consequence. Whereas if you do what is best for you, most of the time it is the safe route. Part of me wants to become a Marine, even though I know everything that could happen, including the possibility of me dying. Part of me believes that the best thing for me would be to stay home and enjoy college, friends, and life.
On my brother's birthday, he was on too many drugs to function. I had just gotten off the bus around 5 o'clock. I walked into my house, and my grandma was on the couch, holding up my brother as his eyes rolled behind his head. I asked what's wrong with him. My grandma said that he was sick and that he wasn't feeling good, so I walked over to my mom, who looked completely distraught. She didn't know what to do. My father being there was already hard enough for her. But now her son doesn't even know what planet he's on his birthday. So we all sang happy birthday as he rolled his eyes behind his head. Everybody looked like they wanted to cry. At 2 a.m., Rob comes downstairs, looks at me and my mom on the couch watching TV. We were making sure he didn't leave the house. He came downstairs and asked me if we had cake and who came. My mother asked him what he was on. He said Xanax, and that he didn't care if he died. He might as well take the rest. So I followed him up to his room and waited for him to fall asleep.
I don't know if a lot of people know about bipolar disorder, but it is extremely hard to handle being around someone who is bipolar. Bipolar disorder affects approximately 5.7 million American adults, or about 2.6% of the U.S. population aged 18 and older in a given year. The median age of onset for bipolar disorders is 25 years. Their mood swings are probably the hardest part to deal with. 1 minute my dad could be in the happiest mood, but something so small can just trigger him to blow off, and you never know when it can happen. Everything is so unexpected, and that's the hardest part. I always try to make sure that my dad takes his medication, but he doesn't like to. He says it makes him feel depressed and vulnerable. I couldn't imagine to have to deal with the feeling of no matter what you do, you can never escape the feeling of not having full control of your actions. As much as a person might try to control what they do or say, the illness at one point just takes a hold of you.
It took a class project to bring me closer to extraordinary women. The woman who gave birth to my family has a history full of love, laughter, and pain, as well as experience. Antonia was born in 1939 in the era of Trujillo. Her family had a limitation to freedom and no money. She was the only girl out of 2 children. Her life was complicated ever since she came out of her mother's womb. She was the first child and her parents were expecting a boy. When the day came for her to come to this world, it was a surprise to all that Antonia had ovaries instead of testicles. This was the first disappointment she brought upon her father.
The father who should be out with a briefcase from day to night, working hard so there will be nothing missing at home, is now a man in jail who decided to choose the quick way out and get involved with selling drugs. The children whose job should only be in school and are now working to get material things they desire. Our minds were overwhelmed with the worries of knowing that once we got home, there will only be one light illuminating the entire house, a light that came from a candle. We came home to a house where my mother will be sitting, crying over the fact that we were in jeopardy of getting evicted. As children, we were raised to believe in God and wonder how God could be this mean to his people. That's when doubt began in my religion, and I turned to the streets. Ultimately, I began smoking and drinking. It was my
Stepping
only
with the
outlet.
B-77, all you smell is the fear of violence. Red Hook is a neighborhood no one likes to visit. It's crazy over there, someone always dying. That's all anyone ever says about Red Hook projects. When you tell someone I live in Red Hook projects, something negative always comes to their mind. What about the positive? What happened to the games everyone used to play? All that is dead. No one is into the games, and there are definitely no more positive things in Red Hook projects. Is it me, or do I feel unsafe about living here? No wonder many people have moved out of Red Hook. When are our projects going to change? No. When are people going to change? You can't change projects unless you change yourself.
I admire my brother Valentin because he learned how to survive without his biological parents. Valentin's current attitude is connected to his having grown up without parents. Valentin was only 3 years of age when my mother left us with my grandparents, my mother's parents, to come to the United States. Before my mother came to the United States, I was never separated from her. When she left me, it really hurt me because I was so used to her. I remember crying when nobody was at home. Valentin was only 3, and it seems as if he didn't notice what was going on. Since the moment that my mother left, my grandmother took her place. I guess, beginning at that moment, my grandmother became Valentin's mother. While Valentin and I were with my grandparents, my older siblings were with my other grandparents, my father's parents. We were brothers and sisters, but there wasn't any close relationship between us. 2 years later, my father, who I had not seen for 10 years, he left me only months after I was born, came to get us. I remember being upset on Father's Day because I didn't have a father to give a gift card to. I think all the feelings that I had because my parents were not with me at some point of my life when I was growing up, Valentin also experienced as he was growing up.
How is violence conducted, and why do youth give up their entire lives to be in these gangs? I personally think that the primary reason that the youth of today, or even the youth of the past, decide to choose the path of violence is because they lack the family support. This leads to their dropping out of school. When the youth lose all their norms and values that they were taught in their household, they go and search for a secondary family to show them the love and the support.
For the past couple of months, my neighborhood lost 5 fallen soldiers. All these guys were shot to death. I'm starting to see that gun violence is starting to be a major thing in my neighborhood. A gun is like a new pair of Jordans. Either everyone had one or everybody wanted one.